Welcome back to Passionate World Talk Radio. Educate, enlighten, entertain. And this morning, our special guest on Cool Your Heels with Lillian is Nicole Isler. So, an entrepreneur. So, good morning, Nicole. How are you doing?
I'm fabulous. I'm very excited to be here.
I'm very eager to have you on, too. Why don't you give people a little eyes view as who you are and what you do and what kind of company you created?
Sure. I am Nicole Isler. I'm an intuition trainer and an energy strategy coach. And what that really means is that I help people who have been told they're too sensitive actually recognize that sensitivity is an amazing gift that they can do amazing things with, and also how to use that as an asset to make a real impact in a world that really needs more hope, more healing, and more light. And so it was really my own journey that led me to doing this. And I'm having an amazing time. This has been quite a whirlwind, right? But such a great time to be able to have this type of service and this type of help for those who feel like they're more sensitive and feel that they resonate with that message, to turn that into something that actually they can lead with to help more people.
Absolutely. I'm sure a lot of you were told when you were growing up, you are wearing your heart on your sleeves. And you've got to stop doing that. And you've got to toughen up.
Yeah. Just let it go already. What are you crying about now? There's so many that there's so many little phrases, but really they plant the seed that, maybe I'm not doing something right. I should be doing it different. I need to just toughen up, get a thicker skin. But, I really come from the perspective that you're created the way you were created on purpose. And so how do we work from that as your strength instead of that this is something you need to correct or minimize? That's the sad thing. A lot of the people that come to work with me, they feel they're afraid to step out and say, this is what I really want, or here's what I really want to do, just because of those things that they were told, throughout their life. They were sprinkled onto them and then they took ownership of it. That's really what happened,
and that's
right?
the problem. The cryptozoology folks have a name for it. And basically what they say is you can create your own terrifying creatures if you think of it often. And if you give it a name, whatever you do, and other people catch on to your fear, together all of you create something that did not exist before.
That is spot on. And the magic is that if you've done that and you don't like it and it doesn't feel good or it makes you feel small in some way or afraid, you can just change what you created. And you can turn that around so that it feels empowering and it feels more in alignment with you. It feels more of who you are. Who you are, right? Everyone says, just be who you want to be. But that can be defined by you, and it doesn't have to be this label or this blend of predefined other people's opinions and perspective. And you can make it anything you want it to be. That's the fun of what I get to do, is helping, really helping clients. What do you want your life to look and feel like? How do you want to feel in your own life? And then we put the pieces together and we take those other definitions away, and voila, like that's what happens. And they get very excited. Like, is this really okay? Because I've always been told I'm this other way. And now I get to decide? Yes, you get to decide whoever you want to be. That's freedom, right?
Or you could have my problem. And at 69, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. But the biggest difference is I own who I am. And whether or not people like it, well, quite frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
You don't give a damn. And that's who we are is an evolving being. We're expansive beings. We're here to expand into new areas and new territory. And who do you want to be to make that happen? And instead of, this is me. This is what I've always been told. I've been put in this box. And even though I want these other things and I have these beautiful dreams in my heart, but I'm not a match, and so I guess I can't have that. That would be such an awful way to live, instead of saying, well, actually, I don't really fit in any box, and so I'm really here to stand out, and what is it that I want to do, and how great would that feel to make that happen and to experience that. And I just was talking with a client last night, and I said, what do you really want? Because I love to give the space. And she said, well, and she got really excited, and then all of a sudden, it probably sounds silly. And so she put it back in the box because it was safer in the box. But I wanted to take it out, and I wanted to play. So I gave her permission. I said, this isn't set in stone. No one else is going to hear this. What? Tell me. Just tell me about it. Just let yourself go there. And it wasn't silly at all. It was like, well, of course that's something that's amazing. Like, that's beautiful. That's really the part I always say. I've never had someone come to work with me and ever tell me something that I was like, I don't get it, or, yeah, wow, you're really out there. Never. It's always amazing and something the world is craving right now. Couldn't we just have a little, like, how much more healing and light and positivity and, right? That's
right.
We never have too much of that. Let's say that.
And what you have to remember, folks, is that you always have to leave a little space, a crevice, doesn't take a lot, to allow the light to come in.
Yes.
And once you do that, you will find that the light space will widen. I mean, a good friend of mine said, you get out of the universe what you call and put out to it. Yeah. So if you're putting out negative thoughts about yourself, you're tripping yourself without realizing that. But whereas even if you put out tiny baby-like things, I want this. Is it possible? You would be surprised when the echo bounces back and says, yes, you can do that.
I love coming up with the idea and then talking yourself into it. Instead of I have this idea, but it's probably hard, I don't know how. No, let's find those million reasons why we could make it happen. And wouldn't you rather go through and say, I gave it a run, I gave it a try, and it was really fun. That's actually the thing that I found too after working with a lot of clients, was that once they said yes to it and they started taking action on what they did want from this empowered state, it wasn't the actual outcome. And that even changed my belief about it, right? That it was, if I get this fill in the blank, beautiful, wonderful thing, dream, I make this happen, that'll be the thing. Like, that will be what really makes me the happiest or fills my life with all of this goodness. But it wasn't. It was when they said yes, and then they were taking action on it, and they were thinking about it, and they were focused on it, but in a way that was, this is happening, not could this happen, or I don't know if this can happen. They were just taking inspired action, and that was actually what made them the happiest. And that actually, early on in my coaching career, that kind of surprised me, because I saw it as a pattern, like, oh my gosh, everyone. But that was the same with me too. Hey, I'm going for it. I'm going to try this. And you just get into it. And that's what makes you want to get up every day. And we have to have something to invest ourselves in, and something, because it awakens that, that yesness in you, right?
They need to awaken the inner child within their soul and discover the wild abandon of, I have a 6-year-old grandson. Now, the girls at 13, they're already getting jaded. But the 6-year-old, everything is possible in his world. Everything. And it doesn't matter what it is. He'll try it.
Yeah, everything. And we forget that skill. We forget that gift. We're taught to put it away. Be realistic. Come on now.
Be practical.
No. What is that anyway? Like, be practical. I just have to live with what is. And that's not practical in my world, though, at all. And that's not realistic in my world. So that's what I love, is I had someone recently, and they said, you are like walking around just spreading rainbows for people because you want them to see that there's another way to live this life and experience it. And who should get to tell you what that is? That should really be up to you. No matter our age, that's not what it is.
No, it's about you giving yourself permission for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yes, what makes your heart lift and sing, and because that is what's healing, and that's what I think we're just, when we say we're here to live our best life, that's different for everyone.
Yes,
too. It's really personal. Dreams are very personal, and I want to be the supporter and the igniter and the encourager. I want to show people that's a beautiful dream, and you couldn't even think of it if it wasn't possible, because that would be a weird universe to live in. You just have all these ideas, but they're not really possible, right? Walt Disney told us if you can dream it, you can believe it, then we can make things happen. So.
Absolutely. And then the other thing you need to do is take I call it my leaps of faith. Yes. Even though there's no security net that's going to catch you, and that if you do a misstep, you may fall a couple of 1,000 feet. But the thing about this is, folks, that all you need to do is pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and keep on going. There was a movie called The Unsinkable Molly Brown. If you have a chance, go and watch it. This is a lady who goes through just about every devastating thing one can think of. And yes, she was on the Titanic on top of everything else, but her will to survive and her will to, I'm going to do this because this is what I'm good at. So she made sure that the women and children in her boat lived their full lives. And that's quite a magnificent thing to do when you're in wet clothing and there's an iceberg creeping up on you and you have hysterical children and hysterical adults, moms and grandmas, but you yourself take it upon yourself to make sure that it's your God-given duty to make sure that these people get to live another day.
Yeah, I love telling the woman I was mentioned before. I said to her last night, it's your spiritual duty to live your best life like you're happiest, to share your gifts, to share your ideas, and she just went, oh, what? She said, I'd been always told that I wouldn't amount to anything and that I didn't have basically a right to be who I am. And that to me is that, we all have sort of an iceberg in our life. There's the tip of it, and then there's the stuff all, underneath that we don't really want. And that's what I love to help you get through, because you are here to have the most expression and joy and happiness, but we're really taught that life is hard and everything's like a Titanic, like that. Oh no, this whole person. Oh no, this is happening. But instead, it's okay. How can I use this to challenge me in a good way? And what am I really made of, right? So when she's on that, and she's pulling it all together, and she's not just sitting there thinking and contemplating, should I do this or not? Is this the right thing? There's something in her that just activated and pulled it together, and everybody has that. You might forget you have it. You might feel like, I'm not very strong right now, but you're always stronger than you feel, and you really always have way more wisdom than, you got to pull all that with you, right?
Absolutely. And let me give you guys a tip, those who are listening intently. When you get to a certain age, what you have to do is mentally have a list. Stuff I'm saving and stuff I'm throwing out. And what you mentally have to do is throw out the negativity that your parents have bestowed on you since you were 2 months old. And then what you need to do is take what's ever left over and reinvent yourself to be the kind of person you believe you are and who you want to become further down.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun.
Yes, because once you do that, you're no longer defined by your parents' bigotries or narrowness or that baggage that they keep on passing down from generation to generation. It's kind of like Marley's chains. It's going to drag you down.
Or even the fear that to protect you.
Yes.
There's even things that were, we talk about like holiday traditions. There's definitely belief traditions that, like you just said, that were given, and it might have been said or done with good intention, with wanting to keep you safe, but it's really based, and you're here to have your own experience. You're really on your own path. It's up to you to be discerning, to say, is this a fit or a match for me? And if it's not, it's okay. You're not, I've had clients too, they're like, ooh, but I don't really want to disrespect my parents. Or it's not about that at all.
It has nothing to do with your parents. Your
No.
parents are in charge of you until legally 18. And then
Yeah.
you leave home. Let me tell you something. If you take a good look at yourself, and you don't need a mirror, but if you take a good look of yourself inside and you don't like or you don't feel comfortable what's there, cleanse yourself, my child.
Yeah.
There's no law written in cement that you have to remain the way your parents initially brought you up. They do the best they can, for better or worse, kind of like a marriage. But you're the one who dictates who you become.
My mother, unfortunately, but ended up with multiple personality disorder. And growing up, she tried to tell me, from good intention, I think, because that's the only way that I could ever feel. It wasn't that she was trying to make me feel small or hurt me, but that depression ran in our family. It was hereditary, and it was something that I would just need to deal with and get help with. And I rebelled against that. And if you know me now, there's just nothing in, it was just something that didn't fit. It didn't feel right. And there were other things in the family line that weren't a fit and didn't feel right. And so I made my own way, and because it felt better. And that's what anyone listening, trust what feels good for you. That is what is a match and right for you. If something feels like it makes you smaller, or it makes it harder to, really assess it. I'm a big assessor, so I take a step back, observe everything, what's working, what's not working, what feels good, what doesn't. And I don't mean good or bad, because we give these feelings, stories, and definitions. I really look at, is it impacting me positively and filling me with life, right? I'm literally more full of life, or is it closing me down and shutting me off, and it's constricting and making me feel less lively? That you can't be open and closed at the same time. So we want to always go to that uplifting, that opening, that yesness, right? That really lifts you, because when you are in that state, you feel more possible. When you feel more possible, you just are healthier, in every way.
And not only that, it's better for you and your subsequent partner.
Yes.
Of who you are. You do not want to blend into your partner, because they are an individual and they have the right to be themselves. It really, it makes me uncomfortable when somebody say, well, I got married and my husband, my wife, she's my strength. And if anything happened to them, I would crumble. And I'm thinking, really? You're going to fall apart? You're not going to be able to go. And ladies and gentlemen, it happens. I know lots of partners who die within 1 week of each other or a month of each other, because they have become so much a one person made up of two. And while it was fine, maybe, back in the early 20th century for various and sundry reasons, that type of behavior really is more destructive than constructive.
Yeah.
You need to learn to be you on your own 2 feet.
Yeah, and it allows, it really expands your capacity to show up in your life in different ways, in bigger ways, and without, you just don't want to put your wellness, well-being, all of those things, your success, your happiness, whatever you're looking at. You don't want to put that in someone else's hands. And also, this is to activate that from within. So I'm not depending on trying to get it or find it out there. That's that outside in perspective that just doesn't serve you well. Isn't it just so much more inspiring and empowering to know that I can call forward from within what I need?
Absolutely. You have that inner strength and that inner being.
What if this person's, they're on vacation?
Yeah.
Right? I'm with me all the time. You're with you all the time, and listeners. And so this really allows you to adjust on the fly, because life doesn't give you the little, hey, on Thursday, something is going to challenge you a little bit, or we're going to get some news you might not. I can adjust on the fly. I can choose what I focus on. We have such a powerful thing to choose, right? So
absolutely. And please don't live your life through a child. Please don't live your life through your spouse. Don't live somebody else's life for them. Live your own life. Be happy with who you are.
And allow others to be who they are.
And allow others to be who they are, yes.
Really they'll come to me and they'll say, oh, if my spouse would just change this, or if my spouse would just do this, then I could. And I go, nope, we're not here to. And I know also I will have clients that are really going through some growth, and they're starting to do things that honor themselves, and they're getting that power, right? All the things we're talking about. And then maybe someone in their life is like, okay, what's with you? Like, why are you? And we want everyone we love and care about to go with us. Like, everyone, let's all rise together and let's be happy and healthy. Or if someone chooses to get really healthy, but their spouse is like, I'm good. And we have to allow people their own journey. And the best thing you can do is to continue yours, right, and do what lights you up and makes you feel healthier and brighter and lighter and all of those things, and invite people. Hey, I'm doing this, and you know what, I'd love if you come with me. But if they don't, it's okay. They may not be ready yet. And because I have a lot of clients too, they want, if the whole world would just, if we'd all join together. I love the message. But let's just go first. I think if we just go first, and then others may take a little time to see, does it really work? Is this really? And they may join us, and some might not. And all of it is okay, because we're all on our own journey. And it's really, though, about you experiencing what you want first and foremost, so that you are stronger and healthier, more vibrant. And that way you can bring more people with you, right, if they see that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Start your own dynasty.
Yeah. So it's, but it can be a lot of fun. I like to make it fun.
I think that's great. Now, do you have any exercise or something that a person can use in order to try to turn the tide from negativity into positivity?
I think, I always just ask my clients to pause. And if I'm fixated on something that feels negative, what could I focus on instead? Typically, we get fixated on things we have no control over. Why won't my spouse do what I want? Or why is this happening in the world? You want to bring your focus in where you have power and control, which is within you. So if you're fixated on something that feels negative for you, is it something I can do something about, or something I cannot? Because there's only one of two things in life: things I can do something about, things I can't. What can I focus on that would feel a little bit better for me right now? And what can I do something about? If we continue to stay in that fixated state on things we don't have any control or power on, now I feel stuck, and I feel frustrated, I feel shut down, and that's not good for our energy or our physiology or anything, right? So we want to always shift. Okay, what can I do something about? Well, I could get up, I could exercise today. I could get up and I could enjoy the sunshine. Now those things might seem like, but are those related to what was upsetting for me? The goal is not to always, it would be wonderful if we could just wave our wand, right, and fix this thing that we've been upset about. But the most important thing is to get out of that frustrated state and get into a better feeling state, because that's where the answers come. That's where the solutions where you get the downloads. That's where you feel more possible. You're brighter. If something comes into your awareness that is a solution, you're going to notice it instead of having your mind pointed over there where you have zero control and you feel frustrated. So I just really encourage people, if you ever feel stuck, trapped, frustrated, what am I going to do? I don't know how I'll get through this. Just pause. Take a breath. Now, wait a minute. What am I focused on? Is it something I can do anything about? Well, not that thing. Okay, what can I do something about? Oh, I could do this. There's always a long list of things you can do something about, and then get up and take action in those areas, and you will feel more empowered. You will feel more possible, and then you can create your strategy on how to move forward if you do have an obstacle in your life. I wish, again, we could wave that wand and get rid of all the negativity in the world and but if we all, I just said this in my community recently, if we all focus on our purpose and where we can do something, who I am here to help, what I am here to do, and we all stepped into that, we'd all have our part of the world, and we could just clean things up,
Oh, absolutely.
Trying to do everything for everyone.
Could you please tell everybody how they can get in touch with you on the web, on if you have a website, where it is, and anything else you feel that would be meaningful?
Well, my website is sensitiveisasuperpower.com. The best place, though, to find me and come chat with me and let me know what your thoughts were from listening today is on Facebook. I do have an online community. It's thriving, it's fun, it's exciting, and we keep things very positive and possible, and it's called Sensitives Soul Tribe, and that's on Facebook. I'd love to have you join us there. We have sensitives from all over the world contributing, sharing, encouraging, and I really set it up as a learning playground, and you can come and you can explore your sensitivity. If you're already along the way, there's actually quite a few stages that I've developed in the journey to empowerment, but we'd love to have you come join us. So Sensitive Soul Tribe on Facebook. Otherwise, my website is sensitiveisasuperpower.com.
Terrific. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and adults of all ages, you can hear this interview with Nicole Isler all over again at https://passionateworldtalkradio.com. Right-hand side of the page, menu, scroll down to Cool Your Heels, click on it, and voila, there it is. Or if you're technologically challenged, we have a sizzle line, a phone line. Just put in the phone number, and the recording starts immediately. You'll also be heard on iTunes, iHeart, Spreaker, Google, Apple, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and more directories than I can remember. And before you go away and stray, Zhuangzi had this to say in the 4th century, so listen up. Human life is limited, but knowledge is limitless. To drive the limited in pursuit of the limitless is fatal, and to presume that one really knows is fatal indeed. Thank you all very much for listening, and remember, until next time, stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.